Hey, what's happening out there, YouTube family? This is Robert L. Jones Jr. coming at you again with some more Tribal Judah poetry. All right. The first poem of the evening is entitled Set the Captives Free. There are all of these seemingly numberless fields and them widely infinite pastures of socio-millennial crops that be blindly plugged like obsolescent modems and landlines into a cipher washing frequency of a deceivingly adopted identity of mental anonymity, which is eternally foreign and strangely unusual, like an anciently formulating plumb line or calculating abacus, from their mindfully algebraic discrepancy of some preciously original uniformity that was fiendishly erased out like a randomly deleted program or a lobotomized psyche from the collective cerebrum and cerebellum of majestical exiles and royalistic outcasts, who were so thievingly disenfranchised to the very soul from the once rightly definable core and funkadelic aesthetic of strictly unadulterated queen and kingliness that once ago had mightily enthroned them into a righteously catapulting genesis and revelatory apex of some universally connected excellence into brightly phenomenal godliness that was so divinely melanated into their solar effervescent spirits and anatomic embodiments, like the gallantly sharp brocade fabrics of a grand baba robe, or the proudly super dope adornment of a grandly befitting mudcloth ensemble of luscious auburn and colossal ebony designs and costly embellishments. But through no blameworthy fault or guilt-ridden error of their own would they be the violently targeted victims of a savagely enamored kidnapping of Amen Sun-inspired insights and ever ecumenical thoughts of galaxy-printed wisdom, as sorely jaundiced eyes of seethingly maniacal intolerance had jealously conceived and enviously created their dangerously crafty offense of sneakily casting forth their vastly entrapping fishnets of wildly dehumanizing propaganda across those aboriginal rivers and archebulant oceans of I ams, stone-witted and magnificent wonders of divinity, and with that wickedly sinister endeavor of a satanic catch, with some wretchedly enslaving enemies of Cyrene be bloodthirstily jonesing like cocaine fiend and crack fiends within their crazily incarcerating dependency, in chaotically causing the show enough natural disaster of a cognitive massacre, whereby Ebon Asiatic professors of self and our almighty Kemetites of Abyssinian strength got so painfully duped and double-crossed into that absolutely false and ever more mistaken persona of shame, where we insanely went from blessed Niger to cursed nigger, from sacred Kush to desecrated coon, from holy entity of dynastical piety to an uncivilized heathen of superstitious heresy, from an augustly wise-hearted provider of eminently powerful knowledge to a stupidly imbecilic servant of mentality stained in ignorance, who was defiantly hoodwinked and bamboozled like a mother into that utter fiction riddled scandal of a ghetto repping and hood writing specimen of inner hatred and death. And there is that totally horrific and wrathfully traumatic reality of madly aberrant crooks and robbers of blackness veracity, still subtly ripping and running that intrusive and oppressive hustle of forcefully perpetrating the nervingly apparent and evidently obvious happening of mockingly telling their racially fabricated detractions of strictly demonic rubbish to our achingly distracted ears and heavily agitated conscious states of truly irritated perception. And a mercilessly corrupt anathema of devil-speaking foolery would suddenly be irefully assuming the unpurely acrimonious flesh and sinful skin of Mr. Jacob's humbugging and fable-spitting kindred, that be easily lying and jiving their many Canterbury beguilements of culture-neutralizing terrorism. And many of us coetaneous descendants of Africa organic expression be unknowingly engulfed within that fretfully forgetful messiness of a straight-up fictional and ragingly invented existence of nothingness, where richly deep and polychromatic memories of our shown up beautiful mother country were so schemingly blotted out and away from the psychological templates and bio-digital mind frames of regally draped out solstices and marvelously enlightened beings of undyingly scintillating pride and power. And now is that humbly fatalistic day and hour in which a greatly miseducated majority of spiritually deceased 85ers be erroneously of thinking that they are utterly and extremely less than the fruitfully and truthfully exquisite fulfillingness of a strictly deistic personality of God, and with morally deformed impressions of deleterious self-awareness, with these stupidly nefarious assumptions and stereotypical premises of character-slaying homicide, be on that sheerly ruthful and murderous mission, in hungrily killing off with destructive premeditation that infinitely celebrated thought process of Mama Nuba's sons and daughters, properly comprehending the realer than realist understanding that they are the uncommonly dynamic life prints and glory proportioned humanities of positively naturalizing vitality and some sweetly prevalent immortality supreme. But all them prejudicial sentinels of flying and those secretly elusive agents of Abaddon be steadily forgetting that ever vindicative truth of truthisms, that their angrily bewitching spells and poisoning mysticisms of ultimate hoaxing fanaticism will not forevermore be hatefully dissing and dismissing the highly resurrected transcendence of our surviving and reviving business, in brilliantly living forth predominantly as an aerially intelligent and wisely funky coterie of masterful messiahs and cosmic geniuses that are so perfectly arisen and thereby just brought back to life like Lazarus, so that from the vilely subjugating confinement of cognitive shackles and chaining tentacles, we would be undeniably released like uncaged birds from the abominable bonds of colonizing captivity. And we will be finally willing, able, and stable like stationary pillars within our virtuous bravado in changing right on back and to show enough return anew unto that nation awakening badness of Brother Morpheus. And with the Nebuchadnezzar coasting and Zion hosting coronation of some oracle coursing Illuminati, would victoriously restored biology be blessedly connected like battery charging to dying smartphone to that stone neo-lasting energy of some Heru omnipotent truthfulness in matrix denouncing Afroness purified. The second poem of the evening is entitled Poetic Utopia. The righteously evolving and radically morphing realness of an artistically cool and copacetic revolution has amazingly started up its evidently keen and supremely exquisite occasion of stone prophetical truth tellers and some sagely oratorical verse spitters, getting so overwhelmingly excited with that exceedingly free and emancipating liberty of mightily working out their specially potent and groovily conducive mojo flavors of colossally creative alchemy through the phenomenally mystical revelations of purely undiluted proofs and realities that be greatly established upon those soulfully foundational platforms of undeniably bona fide and experience incarnates, and an anatomically manifested dynasty of philosophy evoking shamans and consciously divining revealers of wisdom, be a grandly appearing like magically empowered embodiments of lively charismatic specimens, who'd be insatiably innovating their multitudinous talents of outstandingly brilliant craft and inventiveness through the mindfully stimulating substance of many veridical wonderments and spontaneously combusting cipher expressions that be vivaciously exploding and vividly expanding like ever boundless bursts of resplendent illumination throughout the vastly cosmic heights, depths, widths, and dimensions of a wildly ecumenical core and vortex, where a universally distinctive tribe of humanly kaleidoscopic particles and elements be in that ever-pleasant succession and apex of gradually getting new schooled like highly enlightened students unto that harmoniously gathering celebration of a peace sign signifying origination of some lovingly collectivizing unity and integration. So let us all be immensely blessed, greatly favored, and wealthily fortunate with that blissfully impassioned episode mode of richly absorbing those openly elocutionary narratives of so dynamically impacting grit and fortitude, as if we were a fertilely exuberant acreage of ever-inflorescent flower bulbs and abundantly leafy organisms that be gratifyingly infused with the energetically perfunctory impetus of a warmly inspiring photosynthesis in freely evidencing ingeniousness of self. For the omnisciently quick and self-sufficient acuity from an immaterially boss and superior acumen unseen, done profoundly designed up a shown of taxonomical alliance of sublimely stanzaic wordsmiths and scribalicious wizards from another world, who surely got them fiercely tingling tendencies in being courageously adventurous enough to coupe de ville travel on like old hat low riding enthusiasts through the parapsychological cross streets and brain-adelic intersections of ready-witted mind states and astutely affluent skull fillers, and a contemplatively elucidative array of pen and pad availing thought displayers are always intensely preoccupied with an increasingly surging propensity in eloquently flipping those convincingly deep and heavy switches of intriguingly lucid communication with them hydraulic bouncing projections of 6/4 Impala jumping rhymes and alliteration, those Monte Carlo bumping verbal rhythms of purely linguistic lift and liveliness, those gold Dayton crews and utterances of some explicitly hard-hidden pith and truthfulness, and the glass house classic archives of knowledge expounding poeticalness with the ice cream pink drop coated exhibition of some vocabulary digging language play and vernacular tweaking serendipity. So right about now, and more than ever before, is a far more better day and time for some insightfully bright and shining seekers of nouveau tutelage and scholarship to be getting eruditely blended and comfortably spliced like hereditary cells and molecules with that superbly elevating and breezily empyrean scene of some divinely masterful dapsters and shown up extraordinary mavens with strikingly dope and ever more floetical virtuosity, getting so delightfully ready with their madly desiring opportunities, insaniently resurrecting them innately unanimated dead weights of mentally breathless dysfunction and numbness, with a massively encompassing augmentation of some enormously aspiring wind guts filled up so ostentatiously with the fruitfully demiurgic lexicons and orally expository sentiments of excellently meted out messages and dramatically spoken recitals and things. And these ultimately air-scaping pockets of luminously visionary disclosure will all be working so powerfully well in soundly making all drowsily weary temperaments and lackadaisical mentalities to get right on up and to become vigilantly galvanized with a rousingly electrifying demeanor of potentially enrapturing love, gratitude, and appreciation for a truly gladdening and captivatingly beautiful renaissance of cleverly literary virtue and happily vibing positivity, where every single one of us uniquely highbrow life definers and stupendously orate proverb talkers be earnestly perpetuating the effusively abounding operative of equally letting our artistically cool and copacetic revolution get to that surely predicating zone of inner reckoning perspective and clarity, whereby we sincerely be easily bringing unto our solidly undivided coexistence that always complementing and never competing attitude of heartily encouraging fellowship and genuinely applauding jollity. And with the agreeably hip and pacific solidarity of some intelligentsia, clicking fixity and cohesion, let us creatively talented drafters of mightily revelatory intuition become that righteously evolving and radically morphing realness of some show no partnering accord, some ultra supportive support and rapport, and some world culture shared generosity indeed. Thank you so much for listening to these pieces. I hope you like what you heard. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And please donate to our channel, Tribal Judah Poetry. We definitely appreciate your donations, and this keeps us going. This keeps us, coming at you, with more of the poetry that's being shared and will continue to be shared in future videos. So please keep on donating. And I'll be coming back at you with some more Tribal Judah Poetry. In the meantime, I bid you shalom.